pandemic will end. Everyone watch.
We had 15 days to slow the spread, turned into 1 year of lost liberty. What metrics, what measures, what has to happen before Americans get their freedoms?
My message, Congressman Jordan, is to get as many people vaccinated as quickly as we possibly can to get the level of infection in this country low, that it is no longer a threat. That is when. And I believe when that happens, you will see.
What determines when?
I'm sorry.
What measure? I mean, are we just going to continue this forever, or when do we get to the point? What measure? What standard? What objective outcome do we have to reach before Americans get their liberty and freedoms back?
You know, you're indicating liberty and freedom. I look at it as a public health measure to prevent people from dying and going to the hospital.
You don't think Americans' liberties have been threatened the last year, Dr. Facci? They've been assaulted. Their liberties have.
I don't look at this as a liberty thing, Congressman Jordan.
Well, that's obvious.
As a public health thing. My recommendations are not a personal recommendation. It's based on the CDC guidance, which is.
And I'm asking the question, what measures have to be attained before Americans get their First Amendment liberties back?
I just told you that.
I know you haven't given anything specific. You said, we hope when this... Tell me specifically.
Right now, we have about 60,000 infections a day, which is a very large risk for a surge. We're not talking about liberties. We're talking about a pandemic that has killed 560,000 Americans.
I get that,
we're talking about.
And I don't disagree with that. And I understand how serious that is, but I also understand it's pretty serious when businesses have been shut down. People can't go to church. People can't assemble in their own homes with their friends, with their families. People can't go to a loved one's funeral. People can't get to their government, petition their representative to redress their grievances. Right. I also understand the First Amendment's pretty darn important, and it's been a year, and I want to know when Americans will get those First Amendment liberties back.
Well, you just said people cannot assemble in their own homes. They can. That's a CDC recommendation for vaccination.
Not last fall they couldn't.
I didn't hear.
Not last fall they couldn't. What number do we get our liberties back? Tell me the number. Tell me the number.
When 90% of the members of Congress get vaccinated.
But you're not a doctor, Mr. Clyburn. He is. What is the number?
I can't
Thank you for recognizing me, Mr. Clyburn. Thank you.
Here now recognizes 5 minutes.
I'd like my question answered.
Maloney.
You're claiming my time. Claiming my time. Regular order.
No,
Just a moment.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want you to answer my question. The American people want Dr. Fauci to answer the question. What does it have to be?
Expire, sir. You need to respect the chair and shut your mouth.
Ooh. Congresswoman Maxine Waters, of course, this is Congressman Jim Jordan. But, Elizabeth, do you think Americans are growing increasingly just impatient with the lack of clarity of when this whole thing is going to end?
Of course, but Brooke, the reason why there's a lack of clarity is because nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows when it's going to end. And the more people who think like Congressman Jordan and think, basically I want to be able to do whatever I want, it's just going to get worse.